Welcome to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a craft brew-induced headache on the side.
Oh no.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate, and on this episode, we are journeying into Chapter 23 of Temple of the Winds.
Yeah.
And maybe to the medicine cabinet for some Tylenol.
Yeah. I see, the use of the word journeying, you would think that I'm talking about, like, journeying, like, with a backpack and doing stuff, but I was actually, like, journey booking. You know how you text, you call texting, when you text someone, you call it texting?
Yeah.
When you journey book someone.
Would you journey book?
I think it's journeying.
Gosh, she spends all the time on her phone just journey booking her friends.
Yeah.
There's got to be a shorter way of saying
that's
that.
What I'm saying. Journeying, I think.
Journeying.
Yeah. But it could be misconstrued, so that's what all of this was. That was me getting you all to understand what the new lingo is.
Perfect.
Yes, we are starting that. That's a thing now.
We just started it.
Yeah.
Hashtag journey booking.
Yeah. It's the opposite of stop trying to make fetch happen, because journeying is happening. That's a Mean Girl reference.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about that.
I know. It's okay. Some people will. Some people will get it. So
other people are loving it right now.
Yeah. Other
Nate
people,
just,
think it's hilarious. Absolutely.
I will take you at your word, Jade. I believe you.
You should always believe me when I tell you something is hilarious.
As a general rule, I do. And also, I'm not too vain to think that there aren't other people out there who probably know more about other things than I do. So that's a very real probability of where I'm coming from.
Well, you know about this chapter, though, right?
I do.
We listened. We both listened, so now we're here.
This is a monster of a chapter.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We did discuss that the reason it's...
Oh, we are. Interesting.
Yeah. The reason it's such a monster of a chapter is because we are being rejoining Verna and her companions at this point, and it feels like Terry wanted to, check in here, get us all the information we could possibly need about the situation, and dip back out as quick as he could. But he had to hit all the spots he had to.
Yeah, it's kind of like stuff is building up in other areas of the book. Other things are happening, important things, and then he's just like, oh shit, I gotta square up with Verna real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody's gotta know what she's up to, and then we can move on.
Yeah, because otherwise later, everyone's gonna be real confused when I throw her in. So that's where we're at. In this chapter, we finally rejoin Verna with her band of sisters and soldiers traveling back toward Aendril. Because the last time we saw them, they were all by the Palace of the Prophets. Richard and Kaelin were there. Richard and Kaelin were like, hey, we all got to go to the same place, but we are special. So we get to take the extra special helicopter over there, and you guys are going to walk. Or the sliff or whatever,
I'm sorry, you're just not good enough to fly.
Yeah, you don't have the money, the magic to travel with us.
There is good news, though. Good news? Yeah. You got 2 legs. Mm-hmm. You're about to use the fuck out of those.
Yeah, and you'll be together, right?
I like how right now in the book, their whole thing is, nah, it's way too far to go. We can't walk. We can walk it?
Yeah,
really? No, we're not going to do that. And then here we are, people doing just that.
Yeah, all of his people. So Verna and the sisters have all joined up with the soldiers that were heading down to try and find Kaelin. So that has happened now. And Verna is watching as a scout returns out of breath to report back to General Rybish. She already knew what the report was going to be, though. She's not worried or like, oh, I wonder what he's going to fucking say, because she knows.
Right.
Already. The scout had been up on a hill watching for the first sight of the moon, as he has been the last couple nights. The moon did not raise red again. And she had told him it was only going to last 3 nights. So she was like, duh, it's not going to rise the 4th night.
So at this point, we know that it has gone up all 3 nights. Yes. Whoever was meant to see it has seen it all 3 nights. It didn't really say if they would be like, if they would for sure notice it, or if they would just be able to.
Yeah, no, I think that just depends on how perceptive your intended target is.
Yeah,
If
like-
they're super dumb and hanging out inside all the time.
If it's Warren, there's no fucking chance. He's in the basement all the time.
Yeah. But it's also interesting that she decided, apparently, before the end of the 3 nights that this prophecy was the one that was happening. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't even have to get to the end of the 3rd night to be like, yup, only 3 nights. The prophecy,
I know what this shit is.
The guy, like, there's not going to be 4 nights. This couldn't be a different prophecy happening. This is for sure the one with the 3 nights. Yup. But the general is very relieved that she was right and things are back to quote-unquote normal. Yeah. She disagrees with that saying, but whatever. Rybish says he didn't doubt her, but the men are scared of magic, so everybody's been freaking the fuck out.
We're all just a little bit on edge, okay?
Yeah. She's like, well, they should be scared of magic. That's not the wrong way to feel, but yeah, we're all glad that we don't have to stay up all fucking night anymore. She asks if the messengers that were sent ahead of them to Aidendril have returned yet, and Ryby doesn't even want to think doesn't think that they would have made it to Richard yet.
Ryby.
Yeah, that's his name now. I was not typing out Rybish this entire time. Although his name is kind of funny because he's like Rybitch. Like it's it's a little like he's a little bish.
Rybish, please.
Yeah, it's a little funny. But he's Ryby. That's what his name is from now on.
We could just call him Bish.
Yeah, but I don't. It doesn't hit me right.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Ryby's cute.
Yeah, it gives you an
Ryby?
effect. Yeah. If you call him Bish, that makes you feel like he's an antagonistic type of person. He's very like, I don't know, I feel close and safe with him.
You know what? That's right. It's important to give the right people the right nicknames.
Exactly.
It really is.
Exactly. And this wouldn't be like an ironic nickname either. So we're not doing that. No.
Oh, yeah.
They are trying to decide the right course of action at this point. And they wish they knew Richard's thoughts, so that's why they're like hoping to get those messengers back from Aidendril as soon as possible.
Right.
But again, they're just dudes, possibly on horses, but they're not going to be moving very quick. We're still at
I'm assuming.
Yeah, we think that they're still at like the border of the Midlands down in the south, so they still have a good chunk of land to cover.
Oh yeah.
So Verna is reasonably sure that Richard meant for them to go straight to Aidendril. And we know that that's pretty much what he's been expecting too, because he keeps mentioning his force is much smaller than it should be. Him and his, generals in Aidendril keep being like, hey, we're a lot smaller than we should be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's split in half like a few times.
Yeah, we need the rest of our people. So they're all expecting them back. But Ryby is thinking like a soldier.
Doing his job.
Yeah, strategery. Ryby thinks that they should take their sizable force and try to slow the invasion before it gets to the populated areas of the Midlands. Verna thinks, his motives are right on the fucking money. But he is underestimating the threat that is the Imperial Order. See, I don't have the headache from the craft brew yet. I just have the lazy tongue right now.
I was wondering, okay, I'm aware of where the headache comes into play, but I was just like, we had one of these last night. I was like, wow, did it really get you that bad? But no.
No, it was, that was just for the sake of the chapter. I'm not doing bad yet at all. We'll see how it goes. So the Order's sheer numbers would crush the Jaharan army. They have a sizable force, but it's not that fucking big. They would just roll right over them, and then they wouldn't be around when the much larger gathered force that Richard will hopefully have is going to have a chance.
I'm sorry. Finish what you were going to say. I've got a couple of things.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of things.
I mean, that was kind of the end, but just Richard is obviously trying to gather together a larger army to try and battle this issue. And if Ryby and his little tiny group are not there anymore, then they aren't part of that equation. And then Richard might not be able to pull it off when he needs them.
I mean, and that's down the line. The first thing I was going to say is I think even if, and this, it's kind of dumb because, yeah, sure, it could be a suicide mission, but I think if your general goal is to keep that army the fuck out of the Midlands, then you would stand much better to fight and lose and slow them down than to just be gone and let them waltz right in.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That is at a risk of a lot of men.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, that gives people in the Midlands the chance to have time to gather where they might not in a different situation. And
Right.
then those allies that you have in the Midlands might not be there to fight as well. So, in sacrificing the smaller force, you might gain the allies that you wouldn't have because of that.
Right. But, like, these are also the best fucking soldiers. These are the ones out looking for Kaelin.
Yeah.
This is first string guys here.
Yeah.
And second, I would say Verna needs to fucking watch 300.
I haven't even watched it. I just know it's a bunch of dudes without their shirts on and they fight. I don't know. Okay, I remember history lessons.
In extremely
So I
short
remember
description, it is about how you can battle a large army with a small one.
Yeah, the Spartans, right? Isn't it them?
Right.
I'm gonna sneeze. I think.
Are you?
Maybe not.
I wasn't sure if you were going to cry or sneeze. Now I kind of want to see this out to the end.
It went away.
Okay, well, good.
We're okay. But yeah, no. I don't. But that's the thing. There's different strategies, and the other thing is that Richard usually leads by instinct, and that usually ends up being the right choice. So it's important to get his input, even if he doesn't know the right, like, military
The military.
strategy that would be used. Like, Ryby can help him with that, but we need his thoughts.
Yeah, and I can see where he's coming from here. It's kind of like what I was saying. You would rather be there than not be there. But it is best to double check with Richard, like, hey, do you want us to move back and potentially let these guys into the Midlands? Or do you want us to stay here and fucking fight them at any cost? Because Rybish, being the guy he is, being fucking in charge, he's prepared to do that.
It'd be really neat if we had, like, modern weaponry, because then you could just lay a whole bunch of traps, some mines and shit, and just be like, all right, deuces, we'll go back, it's fine.
Just like GoldenEye 64, when you guys could set up the multiplayer levels, you and 3 buddies would all have to, run around and shoot each other on one screen. But then you could also set the parameters for which weapons you're going to use, how long you're going to be in there. So you could do, like, all explosives.
Yeah.
And then it was just who could build the largest area of proximity mines around themselves without blowing any up. Because if you blow one up, they're all going, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
But if you could reasonably manage to do that, you're untouchable.
Yeah, something like that. That would be cool. Okay, so Ryby says that what Verna's opinion is it makes sense.
Wrong. Oh, sorry.
But war isn't reasonable. So
Right.
sometimes you just have to take advantage of what you're given and fucking throw yourself in. You can't always wait for the right move or, try and play big picture. Big picture is important. But you can't always go, okay, this is the right move. When you are faced with the information in front of you right now, you sometimes have to make a jump decision, and it can be advantageous.
High risk, high reward.
Yes.
Exactly.
I put a lot more words in that sentence than I meant to, and then I was like, I'm drowning! But I think I got out, so we're okay.
I think you did just fine. No notes.
He points out that he is still alive. Just because you meet the enemy doesn't mean you're sticking your chin out and letting them take a whack at it. Like,
right.
Just because we're going there and seeing them face to face doesn't mean that we're being like, hey, you should kill us. We could have a plan.
Yeah, and there's also the consideration of you can be just behind the ridge or on the other side of the valley or wherever the fuck. You don't necessarily have to say, hey, we're over here. Did you want to have a fight or not? Like, the less information they have about you, the better.
Yeah.
He just wants to be in the area to keep an eye on them and to make sure they're not going to come in. And who knows right now? Now, granted, it's the Imperial Order. let's just say assume they're going to. But if they don't, fine. But they'll be there either way.
Well,
so I'm in his camp right now. I'm like, yeah, being here is better than not being here.
And
you found the enemy. Fucking don't lose them.
Well, and also, I mean, yes, the Order's numbers, no matter what, will eventually overwhelm you. No matter what your plan is,
right.
Eventually, if somebody throws enough at you, you're gonna lose. But with them being a smaller force, also, they have a better chance of being able to cut and run at the last moment. You know, we slowed them down a little bit, and then we could be like, peace out. Bye, and run away. Where the Imperial Order isn't going to be able to chase them through an unknown land
have
in the same
much
way.
more mobility.
Right.
I just love hearing you say cut and run because it reminds me of Suicide Squad. He's like, when the shit hits the fan, and he points at them all badass, you'll cut and run. And then he doesn't.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
So, Ryby's, his plan is that he wants to move to a more secure location in southern Dahara and sit tight while they send the messengers. If the Order tries to come through the easy way into the New World, they're going to be there to stop them.
Right.
They can fight on more equal terms there in the valley where you don't have to send everybody.
Home turf, baby.
Home turf, and it's not like a 1-to-1 battle there. It seems to be some type of valley where they can meet them on more equal terms. Like, the Order won't be able to send their numbers as overwhelmingly,
right?
Because there's, I don't know, some type of bottleneck or something to where they will be able to fight them one at a time.
That's literally 300. That is it to a T. That's what happens.
Oh,
they defend the bottleneck with way less guys because the enemy's army, which is huge, can't get through all at once.
Yeah.
They have to head them on in like this. Okay, the movie kind of makes it seem like it's a 20 to 30 foot wide chasm, and that's it. So they have their whole army lined up almost in a straight line fighting, but the whole rest of the army can only get in, 10 guys or so at a time, and they just start picking them off, and it's fucking sweet. But but then now, you're not looking at a full army onslaught. Now you have more of a home alone situation where you're at your home turf. You can set up traps and gizmos, like you were saying earlier, and
tap
you'll
in and
be
out.
much better for it.
Yeah, your smaller army can tap in and out for the front lines, and no one has to get tired.
Yeah, and like what Ryby's just saying, they're not going to sit right here on this army. They're going to move away, but they're going to stay in the area. So we're not saying let's necessarily go into battle, but let's just be around.
Well,
in case.
I'm going to just go out there and say that there is absolutely no chance that Terry Goodkind was inspired at all by the events of 300 for this situation. This is totally original thoughts. Even though that's been around for a really long time. Because I remember hearing about that in history class, too. That's like a very historical, battle thing that happened.
I was about to say, a few hundred, not few hundred, couple thousand?
I have no fucking idea.
I have no idea how long ago that was, and I'm not going to pretend like I do.
I was going to say, that makes me...
I just watched 300.
I feel ignorant, but whatever. It is what it is. So, they can fight on more even terms there, and if the army goes west, skirting the mountains, they could sweep up behind them, and then the Order will have to split its force to fight on two fronts, and this also limits their options as to where they're going to go. Now, that's assuming you can get behind the Order's forces,
you can split them up.
Like it ever stops, because everything we've heard about the Order's forces so far is that it goes,
forever.
On and on and on, so I don't know how you'd get behind them, but...
To me, this reminded me of, towards the end of World War II, where Germany had been, well, I shouldn't say Germany, actually, I should say the Nazis had been split between their Western and Eastern fronts, but they couldn't keep up with fighting on both sides. You know what I mean? Because they had to split, they weren't able to focus their attacks in any one specific direction, and eventually it was their undoing.
Yeah, it's strategery.
So the Nazis went away, and power was given back to Germany.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to correct myself.
All that.
Yes, but that's what it is. You concentrate your power where you need to. If you're unable to do that, I mean, you are fighting a losing battle.
Okay, so also, they figure from this area, they can send messengers to both Dahara and Aidendrill, and they can get reinforcements from the allies of the Midlands, like they can have people sent to them from the Midlands.
Yeah.
And get firsthand info on the enemy, which is super important in times of war. So
100%.
Ryby's opinion is that this is the best, position for them to be in on all fronts. Like, info, reinforcements, everything. It doesn't fucking matter. This is the best plan.
And I mean, I get Verna wanting to take control. I was going to say, maybe Anne would be almost better suited for this because she, being the prelate and all that, is like, no, I'm the fucking prelate. People do what I say. But Verna is, she's feisty. She's definitely feisty. But she's also not used to being in charge. So I feel like, especially of an army, so I feel like in this situation, like, you should listen to Ryby. He's the expert. Can we just listen to the experts?
I think a lot of it is the prophecy that's over all of their heads that's making her worried probably, and also just the Richard of it all. Like, Richard needs help. He's been alone for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody's with him. He doesn't have Zed. He doesn't have anyone guiding him. This stuff is going on with him, and everyone wanted to get him some help a while ago, before any of this stuff was even going on. So I just feel like possibly that might be part of it. Like,
yeah, and I can see that. And it does, I guess it does work both ways because she's the expert when it comes to the magic stuff. So it's like, Verna, you tell me what you need to like handle the magic half of the situation. But like, we also have an army situation and I'm going to kind of control that. But we can work together as a team and make it work. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with that. I just think that maybe Verna is focusing more on the magic and the Richard of it than the importance of media. Like the army.
Absolutely, 100%. They're both doing that to their own respective.
Yeah, she's like the army is a big deal. This is a big threat, but I have to get to fucking Richard as soon as I can. And he's like, yeah, okay, but like people will die.
Okay, but like literally millions of soldiers right over there.
Yeah.
So we can't just ignore that.
You know what else we can't ignore?
There are a lot of answers to that question, but why don't you tell me?
The need for a beer break.
This delicious beer that I'm holding in my hands as we speak.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hilarious because I set it off to the side before we record because I still have some delusions of like, okay, I'm organized. I have all my stuff set up to podcast. And then I picked it up and I haven't put it down since we started.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
All right. Well, today we are drinking Shandy from Old Nation. Shandy is a German-style lager with lemonade. Just lager made with natural flavors. Literally a lager. Oh, excuse me. That they squeeze lemons into. And it is so good.
Lager with lemon.
This, I can say, I'm going to say it right off the bat.
Lager.
Best lager I have ever tasted.
Wow.
Hands down.
Wow.
I'm saying it.
See, the only reason I wouldn't be able to make that distinction is because typically lagers don't stick out in my memory, so I can't remember the other lagers I've drank in my life in order to compare them.
We don't drink a lot of lagers, and I don't know what it is. Years ago, my friend Tyler said to me that he just doesn't like lagers, and this is before I had anything to do with craft beer. And I was like, okay, that kind of seems silly to be like, meh. You know, and it was kind of like you with your IPAs. He would just flat up refuse to drink any sort of lagers because he didn't care for them and didn't care to try and find one that he liked. Now, you came around on the IPAs. I have good reason to believe that Tyler did not come around on lagers.
Yeah, probably not.
But, so it was after that I noticed that, yeah, a lot of lagers, I just don't like them that much. But I found out that if you just squeeze a bunch of lemonade into anything, it can be pretty good. And I enjoy this very, very much.
Yeah, I think it's just that most lagers are, they're nothing special. There's nothing like distinctive or, stand out about most lagers. They almost all taste fairly the same, which is good if you like a consistent, like, I like that flavor. That's fine. But
I guess I just don't know what it is that a lager is. I can't describe one.
They're like not heavy, but kind of heavy. Like they're heavy, but not heavy.
They're in between a pale ale and a porter.
Yeah, because you can't.
I guess
you can taste the hops, but they don't but they don't overpower it, and it's thicker than like, I don't know. It's just beer.
Oh, okay. I just looked it up over here on King Google, and I have a very simple and easy to understand answer. Lager beer is, now this kind of confuses me,
Wow.
but it's
that
light.
That went from one end to the other real quick, Nate.
It says light colored, highly carbonated type of beer. This is what confused me. Lager looks very pale and yellow, and then they have an ale right next to it that is like a rich red. And when I think ale, I think light and yellow, but that's just one picture and whatever. The literal next picture over has it the opposite way, so I'm not going to worry about it. But the term lager is used to denote beer produced from bottom fermenting yeast. Lagers distinguished from ales or top fermented British types of beer. So basically, they make a big mix of stuff that's going to become beer, and whatever's on the top is an ale, and whatever's on the bottom is a lager. So all the heavier stuff goes into a lager. So it's like a heavy ale.
Huh.
Ish, kinda. And there's your expert description of what a lager is.
Well, this beer, it's drinkable.
I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, it's good. Especially for a summer day. It's only 4.8%. You can drink quite a few.
Even better.
Yeah. So, I'm going to have another one, and then we will be back.
Ooh, good.
Right after this.
What was that voice?
I don't know.
Right after this.
Don't judge me. Fuck you.
No, it was hilarious.
And we're back.
Every time. I love it so much.
Okay.
It is very welcoming, and I'm like, yeah, we're back.
I'm like, I don't know where I've straightened myself.
It doesn't even matter where. I'm just excited to be here. We're back. Fuck yeah.
So,
what are we doing?
Ryby is still talking to Verna. All right?
Uh-huh.
He knows that Richard wants him to speak up on matters like this, and he could fuck me.
You mean matters of war?
Yes. And Richard considers Ryby's advice on matters of war because he knows shit.
That's right.
Okay? So if he doesn't like it, he will say so and order him back north, and he'll go. He'll take everybody and he'll go right away. But until then, he's going to defend the New World and do his fucking job the way he thinks he should be doing it.
Right.
Because he trusts that Richard would take the advice given to him.
Well, and he knows that Richard trusts him to think about what he's doing.
Yes.
And to say, like he was just saying, say so if he doesn't agree.
And not blindly just follow orders.
Right. This is him using his best judgment, and he's not refusing or saying, no, we're doing this. He's just like, I'm just going to hang here until I get a green light.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. People in Richard's army can't just be like, well, I was told to do that terrible, unspeakable thing.
Right.
And I had to follow because I had to follow orders, because he's always like, hey, question everything.
Right.
So he only asked Verna's advice because she knows magic and he doesn't. So if she or one of her sisters has something to say that would help, he will gladly listen.
Ah.
You know, what he's leaving unsaid here is otherwise, shut the fuck up.
Let me do my goddamn job.
Yeah. If you don't have anything productive to say, keep your mouth shut, okay?
Well, I was going to say this is just like what Richard does. You know, Richard will listen to him if he has something important to say, you know? And so he is extending that courtesy to Verna, but if she's not going to contribute to that, like not in the way he needs contributed to, then he's just going to deal with it.
Yeah, if you're not going to be productive, you're just going to list all of the, the shit that's bad.
Don't give me all the cons. There's a very big positive here we should be focusing on.
Yeah, don't give me all the reasons it's wrong. Give me something to work with, okay? And so at this, Verna softens because she's been kind of combative with him this whole time. Like, Richard, fucking Richard. Richard, it takes her, just kind of derisive. Like, she trusts Richard's advice, but she also has just been just Verna about the whole thing.
Yeah, well, he calls Richard a reasonable man, and Verna is, I don't want to say shocked by it, but she obviously doesn't believe it. She barks laugh at him.
Yeah, that's not how she views Richard in her head.
Richard is fucking nutballs, and they're the adults handling this situation.
Yeah.
He's just the dude running around with a sword.
But this man actually looks to Richard for that stability. And at this point, Verna sees that and sees why.
Highest respect for Richard right now. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
She apologizes for the attitude she's been giving. And the plan makes sense. But she still wants to talk to Warren because he might have some insights. As you know, a fucking prophet. Maybe he sees bad or good in one direction or the other. So that's her plan.
Warren's smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Can't deny that.
Ryby brings up the way that the Order is using magic, despite wanting to rid the world of fucking magic. He's wondering if the sisters are going to stand with them against that, or if they're going to, be like, no, we're good people, we can't fucking fight. It seems like Richard intended for them to stand and fight because of the way that he was like, you guys will be better together than apart.
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously, a group is going to have more resources in it than a single person. They're going to be able to solve more problems, or at least bigger fucking problems together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More eyes better than two, that whole thing. Like, stick together. It's a horror movie. This is bad shit happening. You stay the fuck together.
Well, yeah, and just the advantage of having the soldiers, the sword and the magic together. I think he is very well aware of how advantageous against this enemy that's going to be. So, yes, it does seem like Richard intended for the sisters to fucking step the fuck up and fight during this. So, Verna isn't, super fond of the idea of her sisters becoming warriors, but she does realize that if the Order wins, everybody's screwed. They have to fight or die in this situation.
Yeah.
Plus, the Order might try and be sneaky and, cover things with magic, mask things with magic, and the sisters can help detect those magic movements if it happens. So there are ways without fighting that the sisters can also aid the soldiers.
Yeah. They can just be an ally, even if they're not getting in the shit. They can, help heal. They can, like you said, detect things.
Yeah. There are many ways for them to use their gifts.
Right, exactly. Yes. They can use their skills in whatever way, just on our side, fucking help us with it instead of them, and you're helping.
Yeah, anything is better than nothing. Ryby thanks her, saying it's not easy since the sisters are genuinely gentle. Whoa. Generally gentle women.
Gentlemanly general women. What?
Verna gets, weirdly aggressive at him at this point. Yeah. She's like, you don't know shit about us. Flicks out her Dakra, tells him that she's killed dudes before.
I killed a man before.
Yeah, super menacingly.
You ever see one of these?
Yeah, she tells him how they work.
I don't know why that was more like Macho Man damage.
Well, she explains how Dakras work with, just one little poke and you're fucking dead. And she's like, Sods, Sisters of the Dark, can do just as much, if not more. We're not even talking about lightning shit at this point.
I was going to say, she says, if you see one of these coming at you, you fucking run, okay? And he's like, cool. thanks for your help and all that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, she's holding it in her hand, but she really didn't explain. All she said it has to do is pierce the skin.
Yeah.
So does it fly? Like, you're a sorceress. What am I going to see? Are you going to be running at me with this thing? Or are you going to be like, get him and just let it go, and then it flies across the battlefield and starts taking people out, which is horrifying. And if it doesn't do that, why not? Because that would be great.
Now, to our knowledge, obviously, it doesn't work that way. But
no, it's not a flying thing. It's like a knife.
But my question is
But
now,
he doesn't know that.
Do they have to be touching it for their magic, which is what I would assume, for their magic to steal the Han or life force of somebody? Or could they, theoretically, whip that bitch across the room, stab somebody in the eyeball and have it, or, the chest or whatever, and have it kill them and take their life?
I have thought a little bit about this. I think they have to be touching it because...
That's what I thought, too.
Because otherwise, there's a chance of it sitting on a desk, and you turn to your side, you're talking to somebody, you're using your hands like I do, big motions, and then you accidentally, tap your dakra, and then you fucking, boom, lights out, you're done. That's terrifying.
Let's be realistic. Of the two of us, you are very much less likely to do something like that than me.
With it in my hands, but if it was just sitting, and it was just an accident, that can happen to anybody.
I mean, accurate. I'm just saying, I knock things over and drop things.
That's true. Typically, Jade does not do very well with sharp things. Accidentally, but I'm just clumsy
still. In general.
Yeah,
it's just the way I am.
Fine.
That's okay.
It's part of your charm.
I'm off balance. It's not my fault. My spine is it's all that.
It's Wild Horses all over again. I'm not entirely sure what that song is completely about, but they got that line in there, graceless lady. Doesn't matter.
I dropped something in front of a customer the other day and made a joke, and her name was Grace, and she's like, at least you're not cursed with the name and being ungraceful. And I was like,
oh shit.
Well, my husband, he calls me his graceless lady, and she thought it was cute.
Well, good. See?
Like
somebody knows the Rolling Stones.
Okay, anyways.
Sorry.
After being told this, Ryby pales and thanks her for the warning about the Dakras and for the help, and is glad that she is on their side and not the enemy's side. I mean, we know that the enemy has a whole bunch of people just like her and Sisters of the Dark, so I don't know that it really... But anyways,
Look, he's thankful for what he has, even if it's not enough.
Exactly, you're right, yes. So Ryby leaves, and Verna lights her candles. She puts on her music, she gets in her bubble bath. I'm just kidding.
What the fuck is happening? What? Verna's like, finally, some me time. Fuck, that was stressful. All the big burly men running around.
Just kidding. She just lights her candles.
I just like the time that she takes the time to light the candles and set the mood.
Yeah. She turns on some Barry White.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding. She lights the candles. She pulls out her journey book.
If the tents are rocking.
Anne is waiting because the moon is in the sky. They had, preset plans to chit-chat, to journey at this time of night. So she opens the book. She sees the message telling her that they had some trouble and Nathan got away. She describes the message that he left and confirms what Warren fucking said about the red moons and the forged prophecy.
There it is.
So Warren had a prophecy as well, or at least he had some type of, opinion on the red moons and the forged prophecy. We don't really actually get into
he's a books
what
guy.
He said.
He's a prophecy guy.
Yeah, so
that's
he may
like
have read
his job, and he was aware of this situation.
Yeah, so when he saw the red moons,
Warren was the dude they had to talk to.
Yeah, so when they saw the red moons, Warren was probably like, I remember that fucking prophecy. I read that shit. Told Verna. Verna probably wrote Anne. So, but yeah. This just
Are you kidding me? People with the day off already know. Red moons, that was like last week. Where the fuck have you been?
It was just interesting that Warren, of all people, was their information in this situation.
It's war, and information is important.
Yeah. Verna says that she's there. She's like, hey, I'm here. We can chit-chat now. And Anne is just cutting right to the fucking chase. She's like, hey, do you have any idea where the Jocopo treasure is? I think I said that right?
Jacopo?
Jacopo.
I think it's... Fuck, I don't know.
Jacopo?
Jacopo.
That's what I said.
Jacopo. Yeah. Jacopo.
Why'd you laugh? That's what I said.
I don't know. It sounded like it was broken up a little more like
Jacopo.
Jacopo.
Jacopo. I'm not trying to make fun of it. It just, I don't know. Okay.
It is kind of a funny word.
Anne asks Verna this, and Verna sits there. She thinks really hard, and she remembers hearing the Jacopo were people in the wilds that were exterminated. She has to wait while Anne relays this info over to Zed.
I don't know. They got to ask their mom. They're going to get right back to me. And then you're just sitting there staring at your phone like, come on.
Yeah. Okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
Side note, at this point, while reading the chapter, I realized that all that thought I put into Holly being with Verna and Addie so that Addie knew about Zed is silly, because Verna knew the whole time, because she's been talking to Anne and Zed.
Right.
So we didn't even need Holly to come back. But I'm assuming Holly must have come back and strictly told Verna what happened to Anne and Zed, because it still seems to be a secret to anybody except Verna at this point that Anne and Zed are alive.
Yeah, I think so.
So Holly
must not be saying anything either.
Yeah, so Holly and Verna are the only two with the secret in this camp, is what I'm assuming.
Correct.
So Addie still doesn't know. Yes.
Right.
I wanted to put that out there because I questioned it a few chapters ago.
At least Addie doesn't know about Zed. He was just like, fuck, I should probably get around to like telling her that I'm alive and stuff. But that didn't happen.
Right.
And then we had the whole Nathan fiasco.
Yeah. But now we're here. So
we're here.
We're gonna see So at this point, apparently Zed is in the background, flailing, swearing, and plotting revenge on Nathan.
Almost throwing a pot of food, but then thinking better of it and just starting to eat.
Yeah. Apparently the news that the Jocopo are in the wilds is not good news to him. Verna doesn't have any more useful info about it, though. She only found that little bit out from some dude that was selling pottery when she was walking through, like, the wilds at some point. Yeah. So when she was in the Midlands 20 years ago, she saw some pottery. She was like, that shit's cool. Where'd that come from? And this guy was like, I don't know. Some people that lived in the wilds, they're all dead now. Their name were the Jacopo. That was literally it.
That's all they got.
So, I mean, stroke of luck, though.
Yeah.
That
little convenient, but hey, shit happens.
Yeah, one of the only people in the world that Anne is communicating with right now knows of this super old, extinct...
Well, and it's hard to agree kind of when our main characters are saying, coincidences don't exist. I don't believe in coincidences. When then you have this situation, which is very much just this random dude making pottery just happens to run into the only person on the entire planet who really gives a shit right now about this long lost thing, this treasure, whatever it is. Well, and they just happen to meet up and talk about this thing.
But 20 years ago, and I guess that's the thing. Verna remembers this conversation from 20 years ago, and Anne just so happens to be asking Verna, the one
yeah, exactly. Exactly. The one person who has this information.
Yeah.
Just by chance.
Very lucky. We are very lucky this eve.
Very lucky.
Yes. So she's going to ask Warren if he has any ideas, because Warren's read a lot of shit, so he might have some other thoughts. But they're definitely in the wilds somewhere. That's all we know now.
Right.
I mean, our brains immediately go ask the mud people, right? Because those are the only people in the wilds that we fucking know about.
Yeah, that's the only friendlies. I mean, it's the Midlands, so technically they're all allied, but still.
Not I think the wilds are a little bit of a different type of play. Like, they're all kind of allied.
Well, it's wild.
Yeah.
One could assume I mean, okay, maybe you shouldn't assume everybody's friendly. Even though the mud people do technically live in the Midlands, if you're a stranger there's a good chance they're going to kill you.
Yeah, them and their other people. They They have enemies.
Plus, I mean,
Neighbors.
the wilds just implies like the Wild West, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No law go around here.
Oh my god.
I was
Okay.
trying to remember the line.
Anyways, so the conversation between Anne and Verna, Nate, turns to stupid thing that a sister's gonna do. Okay? Are you here with me?
You gonna do something, or you just gonna sit there and bleed?
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it.
So Verna has no idea what this stupid fucking thing is gonna be, since all the ones that she knows of for sure are here just chilling with Robbie and his boys, except for the ones that Jagang has. So the only logical thing is maybe it's gonna be one of those captured sisters or Sisters of the Dark, but we don't know what it could possibly be.
Oh, right.
Verna asks for the words of the prophecy for Warren so that she can, like, say it to him and he could try to interpret it. And Anne's like, I don't know exactly the words, but it is for sure about Richard. We have this confirmation now from a few people. This red moon fucking prophecy is about Richard. Verna's not thrilled about the news.
No.
She shouldn't be surprised, but not thrilled.
I like how she writes back. She's like, dude, you wrote Richard. Did you mean to write Richard? Was that on purpose? Like, fucking autocorrect?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Like her hand would have accidentally typed
Yeah.
Richard. Yeah.
I meant Raul. Have you met Raul? He's a super sweet guy. It's really too bad that he's the hire of this curse.
Yeah. They have to wrap up the journey booking, because Zed is going to die of hunger. The journeying. Like I said, they have to wrap up the journeying.
Jexta.
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Because Zed is going to die of hunger, literally. Verna asks, she's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But how's it going between the two of you since you brought Zed up? Because, she's just curious. At this point, now she just wants some tea, I think. And Anne's response is, Ducky, he has his collar off. LOL.
Ducky.
I loved it. She isn't sure who's going with who at this point, but they both get how important this thing that they're doing is. So at this point, nobody's fighting.
Right,
neither one of them is like, I want to go to Richard or Nathan. They both know they have to go figure out this treasure issue. Right?
Well, they're here. They're here.
Yeah.
That's what they have to do right now, because that's the only thing they have to go on. It would be, I don't know, even if Nathan is fucking with them at this point, which is a thought that I've had a couple of times. He's being like, look, we're friends, okay? Maybe all Nathan really wants to do is just run away. So he's like, go do this thing. And it started a whole shitstorm of badness because he referenced something that was in a prophecy in another book. And I know I'm just being super cynical right now, but
he's like, wild goose chase.
In the back of my head, yeah, just so he can get away.
Yeah.
But this is all lining up, so I don't think that's the case. But yeah, that's all they have to go off right now. So of course they're gonna do that.
Yeah. And it's, it's important to everybody for them to do it. So,
oh yeah, they will all die if they don't do it. So
if Richard's gonna die either way, Zed has to go do this thing, and he's saving Richard in the end anyways, if that's his goal.
Yeah, it's the forced choice that we were talking about.
Everybody's got a fucking forked prophecy by, what is it, double bind. Everyone's in a double bind in this book.
Everybody's double bound, yep.
Yeah. So, before signing off, Anne brings up Addie. That's exactly what we were talking about before. I'm excited.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because we've been talking about Addie a few times, because Zed brought her up earlier.
Yeah.
And
Miss Addie.
Yeah, and Zed is determined. They had that special night together, so he's like, I want my fucking booty call to know I'm okay.
You remember when we spent that night on my rock?
On my wizard's rock? With no pants on?
You dirty old man.
Zed desperately wants Verna to secretly pull her aside, tell her that he's alive, but he's in the hands of a crazy-ass woman. But don't tell any of the other sisters yet. They want it to be a secret, but...
Let's keep it between us.
But don't let Addie suffer anymore with the thought that he might be dead. Verna gets it. She gets why they're keeping it, a secret from the group at large. because the wilds are a dangerous place. That's where she killed dudes.
That's when earlier when she was like, I killed a man.
Yeah.
This is what she was talking about.
This is that. She was young.
She's killed other ladies too.
Yeah.
She's killed a whole bunch of motherfuckers.
She's done murdering.
Ooh, she's cold.
She was young then, and Anne isn't exactly that sprightly.
I love it. I was younger. I murdered a few people. What's the big deal?
Her point is that she was able to move. She was quick.
Who doesn't go on a PCP binge and shoot at a couple cops? I mean, come on.
It was all in defense, okay? It was defense, and she was able to stab him a lot easier because she was younger, okay?
Okay. I'll give her that. I will give her that.
Anne isn't that sprightly, all right? But she does have Zed, okay? At least she's not. Verna was alone. Anne has fucking Zed with his little magic. And so before they sign off, they both tell each other to be careful, and they say goodbye.
Peace.
Now, I don't know why. Maybe it would undermine Verna's power if she were to do this and people wouldn't trust her as much. But I feel like it might be safe enough to tell the sisters, listen, Anne has revealed herself to me as being alive with Zed.
Mm-hmm.
Relief, right? She has passed on the duties of prelate to me. I am still prelate here because she's gone. She's doing very dangerous things in the sake of saving the earth and doing good work for the creator, right?
She's got some stuff to do that only she can do, and so I am in charge in the meantime.
Yeah. She might die, so she doesn't want to have the mantle of responsibility or leave you guys without a leader. So I am that until which point she may or may not return. I don't know why you couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I know they say it's because they don't want to give everybody the shock of, hey, she's alive, and then,
the hope,
no,
and then
but then she did die, and then so it's just back and forth. Plus, I think it does have something to do with the fact that Verna got the ring in a different way than normal. And so while other Sisters of the Light that were at the Palace of the Prophets know for sure that Verna is really in charge right now, other people might not get that same kind of sense of it.
Well, yes. I
mean,
guess,
Anne left and she gave me the ring, but she totally said I was in charge when she left, wink.
I guess that's,
so I'm in charge.
I guess I wonder if that's the issue, is that there might be a power struggle or vacuum at that point if that's revealed. But I would think it wouldn't change much except to give Anne a more heroic story. Like,
yeah,
this bitch chose me to be your prelate and to take care of you guys. I'm gonna fucking do it. She's out there fighting demons and doing some crazy shit. I don't fucking know.
She's out there being the most badass and earning her title as prelate. But, I'm here.
Yeah, if she comes back, that'll be great.
Not trying to shit on Verna. Verna is great.
Yeah, no, that's all. I don't know. Whatever. We can keep moving.
It's just different. And people don't like it when shit changes and is different because it scares them.
Exactly. Yes, nobody likes change. It's and people, all of that. Okay.
All that word, you guys get it. You get it.
Verna thinks about everything they spoke about after she gets off the journey booking with her. I was gonna say phone, but they weren't on a phone. So, the sisters that Jagang has, a few of those sisters were her good friends at the time. You remember the 5 of them that were all like besties forever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she still has Phoebe, her administrator from the last 2 books ago or whatever. Christabel went to the dark side and was captured. So we know that Christabel is the one that was like under the table. It was not good.
Yeah, right.
It was real bad.
That's
for
right.
her.
Okay. Yeah. Did not end well.
No. Amelia and Janet have also been captured. Janet is for sure still one of the creator's sisters. We know this. She is not a sister of the dark.
You wrote Janet is still cool.
Yeah, Janet's still cool. We know that she's still cool, right?
Janet's cool, man. I love Janet.
Yeah, we vouched for Janet.
Chill.
She can hang out in the circle. It's all right, man. She's not going to turn us into the feds. But we're not so sure about Amelia. She could go either way. We aren't really sure. But thinking about her friends who are captured, possibly being tortured for something they don't need to be. Like, whether or not they're good or bad, those are her fucking friends, and this is what decides her on what she's about to do next.
That's right. I mean, she's got people she cares for, and she's got to do something. And if Rybish has the army under control, then she's going to find out everything she can and do everything she can to handle as much of it as she can.
It is very...
That was a very long way of saying that, but she is inspired right now.
It is very interesting to me. Like, the way you just brought up Ryby, I think I kind of thought about this while I was doing the notes, but not as deeply as you
baby.
did. Yeah, Ryby. Is she was so concerned about getting back to Aidendrill, right? Ryby had to spend so much time convincing her that staying down here was the right fucking move for their situation. As soon as he does that, she gets into her head a little bit, gets into her feels about her friends, and is like, all right, then, fuck it, I'm going anyway. Yeah. Well, not going back to Aidendrill, though.
Not going back, but you know what I mean. She's like,
fuck these plans.
Figuring out my own plans
Yeah,
now.
fuck helping this army or going back to Aidendrill. I'm gonna go do my own thing now. Like, it is such a weird, shift in her perception as to where she's good. 5 seconds ago, we thought she wanted to be with Richard and go assist there in Aidendrill as more than anything. And then all of a sudden, Anne gets into her head just a little bit. Just a little bit. They don't even really talk about the sisters that much.
She always does that. Alive, dead, away, near, doesn't matter. Anne fucks with Verna's head.
And then all of a sudden, we're going on a goddamn rescue mission.
It's like Sin City. It's the old days. Back to the Wild West.
Into the middle of the fucking order camp or something. This is crazy town. We haven't even gotten into exactly what she's talking about, and maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but whoa. Okay. All right. Anyways.
We will get into that right after we take just a little break.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll be right back right after this.
Da-da-da!
And we are back, as promised.
Yeah, we're here.
This really is a monster chapter. So we're like, yeah, we're gonna take an extra break because it's a lot of talking.
And I ran out of beer again. So Verna heads over to Warren's tent. She sees him laying on the bed, so she knows he's in there. And once she knows he's awake, she steps in and blurts out her fucking decision. No foreplay needed here.
Wow. Going right for it, huh?
Yeah. She is going after her friends and any others that Jagang has in his, capture. She says, or he just says he knows. And then the silence grows.
Yeah, I know. He didn't even make it light like I just did it. It was just like, I know. And that's all. I was just like, okay.
That sounds really ominous. I don't really like that.
And Warren does not strike me as a guy to be passive most of the time, so something's got to be up with him.
She finally lights a flame and really gets a good look at him. He's huddled and sickly looking over on his bed. He says being a prophet isn't all he thought it would be. She's like, have you had another vision? Which, duh. To me...
Something's got him shook.
Yeah, I feel like you don't have to ask that question when your prophet friend is, having a breakdown. They probably saw some shit at some point, right? But he's just like, do you have any spare Radahans?
Weird. Why the fuck would he want one of those? It was a big deal that he was able to take it off and be free. He did the test of pain. We learned it was a different test he had to pass. It wasn't physical pain.
But maybe he was wrong.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true.
When she says she doesn't, but if this is some fucking trick to try and stop her, it isn't gonna work. She's a little wrapped up, I would say, in herself at this point, not really thinking about him. She's like, if you're coming up with all this shit just to try and keep me here, it's not gonna happen. He's like, nah, man, I have to go with you. That's already been decided. She's like, no, it's too dangerous. And he's like, I'm dying, and the headaches are back, Verna.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Something's got to be seriously wrong. Plus, she doesn't have another Radahan, and his headache is back. Like, he's willing to put one on. He's like, I don't care. Just make the pain stop.
Yeah. Well, they do have, like, wizards running around, like young wizards who still have them on. But those are the only ones they have. Verna's shocked.
Time to graduate, motherfucker.
By this
Switch on and off. Take another wizard with you, and then you just swap the Radahan on and off until you can't bear it, and then...
That is something that she suggests here in a minute.
Okay.
She's shocked by his admission. She's like, you should be able to control it after all your studying and your training. And he's like, yeah, that would be true if I wasn't a fucking prophet. The only prophet we know of is Nathan. He's had his Radahan on, though, without stop for over thousands of years. So, like, we don't have any test subject that's like, yes, you've passed all your training, you passed your test of pain, now you can have it off if you're a prophet. We don't fucking know.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, he's the only one.
He's still a baby prophet.
He's still a baby prophet.
He just had his first vision the other day. He just got his, he's just walking around. He's toddling still.
Oh, little baby
Warren. Yeah. It's a new level of his ability, this vision having. And now he's having the headaches.
He's evolved like a Pokemon.
Exactly. And it makes sense that he has to, like, train through this level again.
Oh,
like,
shit.
New level. Evolve. I don't know.
Well, you got to power him up for battle.
Exactly. So this convinces Verna, finally. She's concerned. She's like, oh, okay, fine. Fuck it. I'll stay. We could try swapping off your collar with one of the younger wizards, like you were saying. And Warren's like, that's not going to work. Verna's like, okay. Scrap that. I have an idea that I know will work. And he keeps trying to stop her, and she's like, shh.
A lot of telling each other to shut up. They're like, no, I need to get this out now.
Yeah. No.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
No, you don't get it.
You don't get it. You need to listen. I'm talking now. So she keeps telling him, it's going to be fine. We just have to send a message to Anne and Zed. They can meet us up. We're not that far away from them. We're all heading, like, kind of in the same area. And Zed's a wizard. He can fix it. Biddity-boppity-boo. Everybody's fine. It'll be great.
Bibbidi-bobbidi, hibbidi-hobbidi, just like that.
Yeah.
Brushes her hands. It's like,
that.
He's like at least weeks away. And I feel like I'm kind of going to die now.
I'm going to puke on your shoes. Like,
God.
right now. That's how bad my head hurts. But sure.
Yeah, we're already at 9.8. I don't know how much farther I can push this. But sure, let's wait a couple of weeks.
Warren's like, no. Fucking listen, okay? I did get another prophecy. Surprise! Like, we didn't expect that. And it's another forked one. Great. If they do...
Now, is this, just because I don't remember, is this bound fork, or is this just a forked prophecy?
I think it's a bound fork. Like, he's...
Okay, it's another one.
He's bound to this.
Okay, one's bad enough. You don't want something like this multiplying, I would imagine.
There's everybody's fucking... Yeah. If they do literally anything other than go to save the sisters, both of them together, Warren dies.
Oof.
The vision doesn't say if she's going to succeed when she does this, but they can't do anything else or he is donezo.
But they
End
have
of discussion.
to try. Yeah.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
They can't afford to, what's the word? Like, entertain any other fucking options.
Oh yeah. No, the decision is made. And you know what? I'm going to give it to Warren here. That is a good reason to interrupt somebody.
Yeah.
No, hey, I'm going to die. So listen.
Yeah. You need to stop talking.
Yeah.
All of your different ideas, just fucking stop, okay? So Verna,
for just a second, Well, while you looked at me, I was just like, "Oh shit, okay, sorry, I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, exactly. It's powerful.
I will not speak on the podcast anymore."
So Verna knows, though, that Warren is telling the truth. He doesn't fuck around about prophecy.
Right.
Okay? She tells him to go get 2 horses and some supplies. She has to go talk to Addie, some others to, like, tie shit up, but they're leaving in an hour. They don't need to wait anymore. And at this point, Warren gives her a grateful hug, and that's the end of the chapter.
So they decide to go together. So in
on
other
this-
words, that is Verna saying, Warren, I choose you. I'm sorry. Last Pokemon reference.
But yes.
It is very sweet, though. Warren needed somebody there for him because he's facing the prospect of dying.
On this wildly random fucking... I don't know where it came from. All of a sudden, we're going on a rescue mission for all these captives. The last we knew, Jagang and all his bitches were, like, down the coast in, like, by Tanamura or some shit.
They're spreading out.
Like, yes, we know that the army itself is coming this way, right? But why in the hell would Jagang himself bring him and his, like, private slaves any closer to the actual front of the battlefield?
Making a bold... Something's happening. If Jagang is moving there, it's of the utmost importance, I'm assuming.
Either that, or Verna and Warren are about to travel real far away from the people that she just agreed to fucking help.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, also, desperate times, desperate measures, and all that. Right now, I mean, I'm looking at it from Warren's point of view. Warren just found out that he is probably going to die. Like, guy's a prophet. We know he just had some sort of vision or something. But really, and I only say it this way. I know this isn't the way it is exactly, but what would you do if you knew when you were going to die? That's not necessarily saying Warren is, but I guess what I'm trying to get to is...
Have a lot more fun than the people in this book are trying to.
Yeah, goddamn right. But if I was Warren, man, I'll take anything. More
sex, I'm just saying.
I don't care what you just said 10 minutes ago. This is my priority, and so this is what I'm doing. So, Verna, yeah, you told him you were going to hang out and help, but we got this thing to do. Let's fucking go.
I feel like...
Maybe let somebody know plans had changed on the way out.
I feel like Verna, at this point, maybe she doesn't want to know, but I think that she missed an opportunity to ask more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you had a prophecy. A prophecy which involves me and the sisters. Not knowing if we're going to succeed, but you apparently have to go there if you have any chance. Like, you keep saying that you're going to die if we don't do this.
Right.
You are not saying that you're going to live if we do this. But apparently there's a possibility that there is hope, or you wouldn't even attempt.
If we don't do this, I will for sure die.
So there's a light of hope here. So what exactly did you see when you...
Yeah.
Like, maybe you can't tell me...
Have more of a conversation about it. Ever since this began, she's been in a headlong rush to not do the thing that she told Rybus she was going to do.
Yeah, and like...
And hasn't slowed down since she made that choice.
Yeah, and I totally understand him not being able to tell her the whole thing, because normal people aren't supposed to know fucking prophecies or whatever.
Right.
But...
Which,
Yeah, but this has to do with her, and apparently... there might be some type of solution to his headache death issue down this path. So what did you fucking see, Warren?
Tell me right now.
Yeah, like, give me some type of hint. But no, let's go get the horses and, like, not talk about it at all for 5 fucking chapters.
I would feel more comfortable just assuming that that's the conversation they had post-hug. They were having a nice moment, and then she's like, okay. But really, though, what are we dealing with?
Okay, well, we'll find out if we ever get told.
Absolutely. I think the next chapter, though,
we swap
as
people
good kind
again.
does. Yeah, we do not get to follow up immediately with this situation. Mm-hmm. Next chapter deals with another new character, Dreffin, and we spend just a little bit of time behind his eyes, we'll say.
Yeah, It was a super fun chapter
Very
to write notes
interesting
for, let me tell
chapter.
you.
But before we let you guys go, we have another listener email. You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We've been getting a consistent amount of like private messages from people. And it's really nice. I like it.
It has been very, very nice. I mean, I like just getting emails from people in general, because it's not like a robot sending me an advertisement. But then when it's about this, especially when you guys, especially when we get emails like this that I am about to read for you guys here, it just makes my heart like the Grinch at the end of the movie. It just makes it so big. And it for real, anytime we get something like this, any doubt I have about, like, I'll say the validity of this podcast completely goes out the window. Anytime I'm like, maybe we're in too far. No, fuck that. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm glad I told you about it, because, you know, you're constantly like, I want to make it better. I want to make it better. And
I always want to make it better.
Yeah. No, and not that we shouldn't. Okay. But it's nice to receive emails that tell you that we're doing a good thing. Or doing it okay, at least, you know?
Doing it okay.
Not that people ever say it like that.
Know,
they're always way nicer.
They're always very, very nice.
But yeah, you know, we're okay.
All right, I need to...
you want this?
I need the control.
You want it?
Are you going to tease me right
Maybe.
now? Maybe. Okay, so this is from Emily. I'm going to leave the last name off of there, but... this is what Emily had to say. Hey guys, I love your podcast. I totally binge listened once I found it.
I'm sorry. For a second, I thought you were going to do a voice.
No,
and
no.
I'm like,
I'll do voices for people in the book, not this.
There's like a small part of me that wishes that you were going to, and then the other part of me is very relieved that you didn't.
Look, this was a monster chapter. This episode is going to be super long, so I figure if for whatever reason you guys are still listening this far in, they deserve a nice red email. I'm not going to make a joke of this.
No, and you shouldn't.
I shouldn't. But it brought Jade and I, like, there were tears. So just prepare yourselves for that. But if you stuck along this far, you deserve to hear this. Is wonderful. I'm sorry. So I totally binge listened once I found it, and I'm now caught up. You guys mentioned after Terry Goodkind's passing about what it meant to you, and I just had to share my story because maybe it'll help someone else. I was 13 years old, and it was the most tumultuous summer of my life. My aunt, whom I spent every weekend with, decided to move 5 hours away and not tell me and my parents had finally saved enough money to build a home and move/sell our 1970s single-wide trailer, the only home I'd ever known. There was a lot of transition. I was cleaning out a closet, and I found Wizard's First Rule. I was about to put it in a box when my father stopped me. Wait, Em, that's a good book. Keep it out and read it this summer. It might help. He knew I was on the struggle bus. I love that. I love that term so much because I feel that. He wasn't wrong. I fell in love with the story, and it was my great escape. Over the years, I bought, read, and listened to the entire series and shared them with my father. When I was in my 30s, I was in another transition. My husband and I had achieved our goal of buying land and building a new home, which, fucking good on you. That is hard enough to do just to buy a home nowadays. So yeah. I love that. They reached for more and got it. However, during the 2 years it took to build from start to finish, we left our 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful home with our 4-year-old and 6-month-old to move into my brother-in-law's 2-bed, 1-bath, single-wide trailer. I'm sure you can begin to see some old wounds coming back. A year after that move, we moved again into a hotel room. It was a nice room. It had a living area, bedroom, and kitchen. It wasn't horrible, but with my now 5-year-old and 18-month-old, it was small. Sometimes it was just too much. We had to temporarily rehome our dog with my sister, and my kids missed her terribly. Through all the crap and chaos, my father once again could see me struggling, and he asked, "Hey, Em, what are you reading these days?" My dad, man. Ugh, that man. Love him. I picked up Wizard's First Rule again. That book saved my sanity when I was 13 and again when I was 33. I can't even begin to say thank you for bringing these incredible books to life in a new way. I would listen to you guys while cleaning, doing dishes, doing laundry, or when I could sneak off to the lobby and work from my laptop while my husband took the littles. You guys made me smile and continue to make me smile through all the shit, all while I learn new things about the books I have held so dear. We moved into our new house in July, and it is beautiful. We brought our dog home, and now 6... I'm sorry. I can't. I got those goddamn eye allergies again.
Yeah,
oh.
That's what it is.
And now my 6-year-old and 2.5-year-old are now riding bikes and playing in the sandbox. We have 9 acres of beautiful trees and a stream that leads to the lake. Now I sit by that stream and read Sorta True series, and it's always close by. Tuesday is now my laundry day, and you guys help keep it lively. Emily.
Bah!
So yeah, we get emails like that, and like I've already read this thing, and it already got me again because holy shit, we're doing something.
We're connecting with people.
And stuff like this makes it 1,000% worth it forever.
Yeah, and hey, you know what's really cool is
And she sent us a picture of the house, and holy shit, is it beautiful. Seriously, Emily, I'm happy for you and your husband and your kids. You guys deserve every bit of that, so fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. We're still, it feels like we've been in this for a while. We've had, these connections with some of these people, some of you people, that sounds aggressive, with some of you friends.
What do you mean by you people? I'm sorry, I have to laugh at something.
For years now, and the fun thing, or intimidating thing, I don't know, however you look at it, is that we're still at the beginning of this thing.
Very much so, yeah.
We still have years, probably, with all of you. Whether you drop us for a couple years and pick us back up when things are slow or whatever, I do not intend to stop doing this until we're done. So we'll be around for you.
We'll be here.
And we hope that we keep getting emails like that telling us that we were here, for you. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I've been drinking and now I'm getting snappy. We need to turn it off, Nate.
All right. Seriously, every single one of you, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Mm-hmm. Bye.